Whew, okay, I really shouldn't have agreed to play Apex with my friends. Bad decision, lost all track of time. Wasn't there a part 3 or something I was supposed to be doing? Oh, no, okay, no, Game of Thrones final season starts soon, I'll be right back. Right, okay, now I'll... Nope, Avengers Endgame. How about now? Oop, lost my job. Surely I have time to now... Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Hello and welcome back to Kweebec Corner. My name is Connor, and today we finally round off our 3-part mechanics overview with a look at community servers, game modes, and the economic potential of multiplayer platforms within Hytale. Playing with friends is an age-old concept that's existed since the very first games were invented. A brain-clashing match of chess, an arcade shooter, or a strategic card duel. What started as needing to be directly next to someone to play via a table or spare controller cord has now vastly evolved into a global online network, a social chain for gamers. Even those third-party IP connectors are rarely used anymore due to companies, for the most part, providing secure, quick, and online play to the ever-growing hungry audiences. Again, I say for the most part. I don't think there's an inherent right way to do multiplayer. It comes in many forms, but I think there's some basics you need to stick to if you want to appease the casual modern player. For now, let's stick to 2 categories or genre or model or whatever you want to call them. When playing online, you're usually doing one of 2 things. Directly competing in a game or game mode, or world roaming. The latter is most commonly occurring in MOBAs, battle royales, and most online FPS, where you choose a party or select a game and just jump in and jump out right after. World roaming, however, more often than not is referent to sandbox titles and MMOs. Things like Minecraft and Roblox offer a playground-style free roaming nature. And so, server hosting has become a prominent and popular method of online play for both categories. Either a company has their own set of servers, or games are designed to allow players to make or host their own. Minecraft eventually offered both. Now, having multiplayer doesn't inherently make your game a good game. There are many titles without multiplayer that are very highly recommended, and some with multiplayer that are amongst the worst games out there. The concept is what drives people at the end of the day. That focus should never be lost. But buzz does tend to die down after initial launch. There are obvious exceptions to all rules, but besides things we covered in part 2, like replayability and modding, multiplayer is usually the final factor that helps build and retain a community after release. Developers must ensure they craft a world that can not only stand on its own 2 feet as a solo experience, but also do so with seamless multiplayer and server support. Luckily, open-world sandbox games like Hytale lend themselves perfectly to this archetype. The trailer gave us a glimpse at a community server that will likely act as the first and central Hytale game mode hub on release. I'm sure more will appear in the days following, but taking a look at this, we can see what's possible. Player capacity has been a broad topic of conversation, but knowing the large player base over on the Hypixel server, I doubt they'd set the bar low and only allow a small amount. We can already see here on the trailer a full army of people. When it comes to playing with friends in your single-player or local worlds, it's yet to be seen if there is a real limit, but I can assume, similarly to Minecraft, you can just load up a fresh Hytale world on your server and toggle an option that allows friends to join you. So assumedly, the limit would be as big as any other server in that case. But recently, Noxy touched on the ability to only experience specific story events or dungeons on your own as a way to provide a sort of unique experience for the player.
So I think when you look at Hytale, the story mode is very much, it's very much an adventure game. We're thinking about it from the point of view of you're going to complete it with maybe on average between 3 and 4 of your friends, so it's almost like a little party kind of thing. The idea of that is that there's enough prefabs, or there will be enough prefabs, that not everyone will get to experience the exact same piece of content, right? So just pulling an example out of thin air here, you could find, the sword and stone, right? And you could tell me about that sometime. And I might never experience that in the game, or, it might be very difficult for me to find that. And then, I'm living sort of your story when you're playing the adventure, and you're living my story.
I'm wondering if that might have an effect on how many players you can allow into your solo experiences and where you can go with them. Back to game modes, we see the use of portals in the trailer. Teleporting and changing locations of a player is fairly essential for lobbies, switching games, and queuing, so I'm fairly sure that's going to be involved in some essence. But also for fast travel and roleplay. There's magic in the base game, so I'm sure that that's a thing that Hypixel want to carry through to their game mode server. Next are the game modes themselves. These are the definitive set of rules you're bound to in a certain game world. There's a regular survival mode where you play things how they were designed to be played in the base game. Then there are variations on that, such as creative mode, where you can destroy blocks in one hit, alter the world and spawn items, as well as adventure mode, where you can't hit anything or are bound by defined rules. You're along for the ride, and a lot of these archetypes are based on Minecraft bias, but it remains to be seen if Hypixel want to deviate from that norm. From there, you also have the other group of game modes. These are the game types made by and made popular by players themselves. Be it MOBAs or FPS layouts, Hunger Games or enhanced hardcore survival, these game types offer a whole new branch of potential for servers, and it's what sprung the very game we're talking about today. With glimpses of this type of stuff already in the trailer, I think it's safe to say there's plenty to be done if you're a budding Hytale server developer. So in theory, a server can realistically be whatever you want it to be. We're told we can change and customize almost every aspect of the game, but it remains to be seen what limits we'll really have as creators. To what extent we really can change or adapt the world and build on top of it. In my history, I've worked on projects to develop features for all sorts of game modes and roleplay experiences. You can reskin textures or alter PvP mechanics. You can create your own currency or economy, add new pets and monsters, break down the world to create an entirely new one with new rules and a new concept. But can we go that far with the world of Orbis? Well, it would seem so. Let's look at the Hytale blog, where they gave us an overview of the server browser. Now, I know this was a while back, but hear me out guys, I'm trying to catch up. While it is a concept, I do find that the team are curating these blog posts with great deliberation, and it's unlikely they'd release too much about it if it wasn't going to be in the final product. Servers appear to work on IP connection, and while there's still an image icon you can edit, player capacity and connection speed like we're used to, we also get the ability to directly link a website, add descriptions, see players over time, and highlight key content of the server. We can even curate our own news boards and updates for the server itself, which is actually really interesting. And that's before we even get on to the listing section. One thing I hate about trying to find a good server to play on is the amount of time I have to spend trolling through forums or constantly searching for hints of a good community. I'm sure advertising is always a big pain as well. If a server list works well, then owners and developers should be able to optimize their listing to garner the right audience with little effort. Filters on Hytale seem to be able to split servers into different game modes like adventure or minigame, and it seems that cooperative and competitive play can be categorized as well. There's language support tags and other various useful listing features like popularity rating and keyword tags that will surely help players find the perfect server for them. The community element really kicks in here as well, with an entire friend system dedicated to helping you keep in contact and play the games you guys love the most. It appears you'll be able to join in on servers that your friends are playing on and keep tabs on your favorites. Like the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, joining into friends' adventure worlds will also be possible if you just want to play locally. Say goodbye to port forwarding, and hopefully there'll be a whitelist feature for those who want to avoid new wave griefers. Ah yeah, griefers. Who remembers them, right? Speaking of griefing, which is a detriment to a server's economy at times, let's discuss server economy. Now, hosting and creating a fair and equal platform can be difficult. We've already seen a large rise in interest for Hytale's server hosting, and some have even gone as far as to start modeling and creating their own assets to prepare for the game's launch. I think it's important to note that these are still foggy times, and any decisions made regarding that sort of stuff should probably be best left until after they've confirmed certain details. All I'm saying is tread lightly, tread with caution, and be safe. So, we have to keep in mind that there's still plenty of changes being made to the game, and we're looking at a fairly early stage of development. One thing I know for sure is that tagging will definitely improve the equality of server advertising. While players are easily able to search for specific game modes and experiences they're looking for, servers can directly target the passionate audience they most desire. It works both ways and can be very beneficial for the community. At the end of the day, it remains to be seen which systems and game modes will truly take off in Hytale. While we can expect to see the return of some of Hypixel's most popular, expect a nostalgic return to all sorts of different styles of gameplay from the past. And that about covers it. Bit of a ramble, I know, but we've finally got there, the end of part 3. We've covered the woes and whimsies of server economy, the multiplayer systems that create a global platform, and the game modes that players truly love. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little series and expect some new and interesting content on this channel coming soon. Also, I appreciate if you've stuck with me for the time it's taken to finally get this last part out. Once again, and it feels good to be saying this, thank you for watching Kweebec Corner. Stay safe and keep free.